All right, here are the patch notes for Season Pass number 2 for Outlandish operations. Okay, card balance. Arcane Ring now spins counterclockwise. Blood Imps produce Betrayers. Return damage was increased and now gets blocked by Divine Shield. It's supposed to be a rough one because Bruce Betrayers as well as Blood Imps are very strong, or currently were at the moment, with only 50% return damage. Hopefully this return damage will allow you to not get quadruple rammered, but let's see. Boomer, updated Boomer's model, changed name to Explosive Snail. Keep in mind that this is April Fool's Day, and I'm sure some of these are April Fool's jokes, maybe up to 2 of them, because I possibly have read ahead. Border Patrol, mana freeze is now down to 1, but you can also choose to opt and get the shield if you want to spend that extra mana. So we'll have to see how that mechanic works. That's a new one. Crossbow dudes now find a new friend from 2 to 3. Means that they have a little bit more crossbow dudes. They got a little stronger. Looks like all the dragon cards are a little bit strong right now. So Dragon Whelp, Flightless Dragons all have their attack cooldowns increased by 0.1. Hypnotize. This is a fun change. I'm looking forward to it. I started using Hypnotize last season as well as the season before. It is very strong when you hit a good one. It actually has won us a few games because you can hit the back line for really strong units and they attack each other, which is great. Now that the cost is down to 3, it actually might see some play. I'm actually going to be trying it out myself. It'll be a lot of fun. Jing Long now does damage upon re-entry, which might be crazy. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stun locking combo nonsense that I'm looking forward to myself. Lightning Bolt, another fun change. Not super happy about it because I used to scream Lightning Bolt and then it would hit the target that I would want. It seems like that actually was not in my head. It was actually hitting higher value targets than it intended. So I guess what I thought was luck by screaming it, as a fun way of saying it, is apparently just because odds were in my favor. So now it looks like the cost is up to 6, which would kill the card, but now it fires 4 times. That seems ridiculous, though. That seems really strong, so we'll have to see if that's a real change or not. Avir's Breath. This was a much anticipated change coming. It was way too strong of a card. It killed everything. It stopped really early game pushes, and then also continued much better into later game once you got into Ascension. So now it's reducing their damage. Now it's giving 4 skeletons over the duration. So it does increase the utility of the card by allowing you to capture bridges with it potentially, and also killing small swarms, so it still has that value, but it doesn't kill the high value targets like Balrog, etc. Now the duration's a little less, so it means it does less damage, a little less duration, but the Accursed Ascension does increase the damage almost to its full max damage, which is 325. Now it's at 300, and it spawns 4 more skeletons, so you don't get that bonus upgrade of getting the Swarmers, but now you can kind of use it on bigger value targets that are only 300 damage for, again, 6 mana is a lot for it, but you know, you might be able to get 1 or 2 high value targets as well as the small ones behind it, so it would be kind of worth it. And then of course you get the 8 skeletons as well to kind of push forward and grab the bridge. So really good, cool spell card. It's one of the few spell cards that actually allows you to capture a bridge. Pincer of Dread. Fixed targeting issues. Now the delay is a little less, so it's going to target the closest health that's highest. Now it's targeting the highest health that's closest, or maybe just the closest. Not sure what target they're looking for, but I'm assuming it's the closest target to it, which is also fun. Rabid Prowler. This is a fun card I loved using. Now instead of sacrificing 1 though, you have to sacrifice 2, and instead you gain Berserker Rage, which makes it a little bit stronger. So not sure how that's going to play out. It looks like it will still only give you 1 card when you play it, and it's going to sacrifice 2. So we'll have to see how that Berserker Rage modifies its rage, because it could be a really strong card. That's a lot of extra damage, but do you really need it is the question. We'll see. Resonating Blast Crystal, another anticipated change here. Damage from 130 to 100. They did remove mana freeze, so they made it a cheaper card. I'm not sure how good of a change or buff or debuff this really is. This might not be that bad because you only play the card now for 3. And you get 100 damage, which was pretty much the whole point of it. But now it no longer kills stun lancers, which was a huge part of it. Now that only does 100 damage, it does take care of snipers and other little small value targets. So we'll have to see if it gets play or not. So it's a buff and debuff all at the same time. So we'll have to see if they did fix the card finally, because you do get the mana freeze when you explode 2 crystals, which for 4 value, now it's kind of ruining it, but that kind of goes back to its original roots, but it's still doing less damage on the whole. So we'll have to see if that works out. Shield Captain Avia, the damage is 70 to 100. So we'll see if this actually ends up playing. I would have liked to see either more life or faster turnaround of the time, because Avia gets the shield and, you know, it gives damage to self on attack. It's not really the greatest thing to happen. For me, it does extra damage, so maybe that utility will help it out by doing a little extra damage, a little bit more DPS of a unit, and then it has the background tanks as well. So let's see what happens. Shield Guard of Light, damage from 70 to 80. Okay, so Shield Guard was an okay card. It wasn't one of my favorites. It has the charge in, it does have the blast, but Brothers kind of took its shine. From 7 to 10, you get 2 instead of 1. It doesn't have the charge, which was kind of unnecessary a little bit, because the charge was a little slow. Now that the damage is a little higher, again, it might sway people into playing this card a little bit more. Got the Sensitive Savage. Not sure what the heck this means, but it says, take a mindful class and now wants to be referred to as Scott the Zensitive Savage. So that might be a nod towards putting him into a Zen motion. I think it's just a joke, but we'll have to see. Skeleton Horde spawns 3 less skeletons. Then you multiply skeleton count in Horde by 3 after applied reduction. Again, have to see what the heck that means. I think that means you get 15 skeletons instead of the 8, which I think was the number, but it doesn't make any sense, so confused. Early Scrat health 390 to 350. That was also an expected change to some degree. I wasn't sure if they were going to do damage or health. They did health from 390 to 350. It is a very strong card, if not one of the strongest cards ever that I put into my deck on almost all occasions, because it just does everything. It tanks, it spins, it does AoE, it does a good damage. So this will hopefully have it have a little bit less play, a little bit less of a shoe-in for every single deck, but we'll see. Zhao Long, I'm not sure if I like this change, and we'll have to see how it plays out. They did increase the damage of both dragons, as we saw before, but they also give Jinglong, I guess they spelled it weird, Zhao Long, spell dodge instead of shield. So I thought shield was a pretty good card, pretty good notion to have on it, because when he gets hit by something strong, like Harbinger, it's pretty good. But now, if you play a spell, it just dodges completely, so you could just stop that altogether. We'll have to see if that's a good change or not. I think the spell dodge will be very interesting. It's going to be very annoying dealing with both these dragons now. Probably when you're going to attack, you can just keep blinking in and out by casting spell after spell after spell. So these might see some play in Setsu decks, or at the very most Milloween. And probably any other deck really, but just those two especially, they have very good additions towards casting a lot of spells that you want to get off. Wild cards. This might be a joke, or it might just be for fun. It might be just for today. We'll see. But wild cards. Increase max wild card count by 2. That means there's 4 wild cards. Now, I know the community has been talking about getting rid of wild cards for a while. I am one of them that thinks the game should be more pure. I think there should be a wild card option where they call a wild mode, just like Hearthstone did. Let's see if this is real or not. The way they said it makes me believe it's a joke. It says, we're aware this might be unpopular. However, this is a blatant attempt to improve the monetization of the game. It's very funny. I think it's a joke. We'll see. Fiona is now a Outlander. She got tired of Empire's bullshit. King Puff now puts on a fish suit after getting 10 subs on his Twitch stream. I think that's a nod to Bad as a Fish, which is funny because I think he also puts on 10, after 10 subs, he puts on a fish costume for a stream. Definitely check him out if you haven't already. Very funny. I hope this is real, at least for today. It'd be really funny. Repo also summons Scratch on Teammates Minions cards. Spends 3 seconds to change minigun. Has the opposite problem of Stormbringer, present critically well almost 1. The Valorian perk heals 15 into 18. So, again, not really sure which one of these are jokes. It is April Fool's Day. We'll have to see. At the bottom here, it says, by the way, 2 of these balance changes are April Fool's. Can you guess which? It kind of makes me think that this is one of them. There's a lot of changes in there that just don't make any sense. They seem very funny. They seem kind of ridiculous. Even here, I find your lack of faith disturbing. Thanks, Darth Vader. There's tons of jokes in here. So we're going to have to see exactly what comes out later on in the video for what is actually going to be part of this expansion. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all next time.